Day 9 is officially a wrap at Wimbledon. Just a little bit ago, Serena and Andy Murray walked off moving on in their mixed doubles. Serena was an absolute beast in the mixed doubles today, and I feel like she was taking out some of her frustration because of what Ali Risk did to her, and really gave her the grass court runaround in the match earlier. Serena just, and that's no knock on Serena, but Ali Risk is actually better at grass, and this is not a dirt court. It still has a lot of grass left, even if it's dead, a lot of dead grass. And I think if Ali didn't have body fatigue, she wins this. But to Serena's credit, she fought as usual. She, showed the heart of a champion, and also just knows how to win these big matches. And even had a right ankle issue that sort of let down in the second set. And then she came back. I mean, she went down the break in the third set, which everybody seems to be forgetting. So she was down, it was one set apiece, down a break in the third, and suddenly got going, got rolling, and just fought. Just really fought. But I think that Ali wins that if she doesn't have body fatigue. In fact, I think you can make the case that the four best grass court players today, the four that played the best grass court tennis, only one of them won. Muchova and Ali had body fatigue. Ali because she's played so much tennis this summer. Muchova because she had that huge match with Pliskova the day before that went 13-11 in the third. And then Zhang Shui, I think she's better at the grass courts than, she's probably the fourth best out there today. Well, no, because I wouldn't say she's better than Serena, but anyway, she was better than, I think, Halep at grass court tennis, just because she's a little flatter, a little more aggressive. She's gotten more aggressive in the last couple of years, and that's why her grass court game's coming. But she fatigued out at the end, and she had a little bit of body fatigue coming in too. Not as much as the other two, but she had some as well. Then, as far as Halep, she did a nice job on the grass court, which isn't always like her. She's getting better and better every year at it. And also, her body's feeling pretty good right now, which is unusual for her. A lot of times she's carrying injury or fatigue, but, she might have a little bit in the legs, but overall, I think she's looking good. Svitolina also might have a little body. She was actually doing this with her left leg. I don't know what she was doing, the stretching with the left leg and all this stuff. So I don't know if it was a quad, a hamstring. I think this was it. She was going like this at one point. And that might have been a hamstring, it might have been a glute. But it was, these things are going to start to happen now as you're playing on the grass, a lot of tough matches. Svitolina and Halep haven't had a lot of tennis coming in, and now they're having better form. So they're in probably as best shape you can be body-wise, as long as Svitolina's leg is okay. But Muchova was, just has a great game on the grass now, especially the slow grass. And of course, Ali Risk we know about. Ali Risk has that bizarre forehand that Brad Gilbert was talking about. Like, he called it a frying pan. And I can't even do it. He did it better than me the way it looked, but she just kind of doesn't even take the racket back. It just goes like that. And it's just fantastic on grass. It just, boom, just flat right through the court. Her returns are so great all the time because she doesn't take much backswing. And so she has good returns anywhere. And then her serve is much better on the grass. So anyway, great grass court season. I actually was going to call it the greatest grass court season ever, tongue-in-cheek, since I haven't seen all the grass court seasons going back to the late 1800s. But I was going to call it the greatest grass court season ever if she had beaten Serena. And I really thought she had a chance. She had too much body fatigue. But when Serena had the ankle, I thought, there's a shot here. And Serena was kind of, I want to call it grumpy. And again, I'm not putting her down. It was a great fight by her, but she was frustrated. There's definitely frustration by the way Ali plays, and she takes it and moves it around so quick. And I think Serena was really, and she even kind of admitted that was very close to a loss. And that third set, that's someone who has won about 20 slams, and that's what happens. And she knew how to handle that situation, and then she let it all out in the doubles, in the mixed doubles, because Andy was struggling some. He obviously hasn't played much, and Serena was just, bah! It's like doubles, and she's like going berserk. So it was great. The crowd loved it. As far as, we'll see what happens, how she comes out of this match. There definitely was some beat up body there now. She hasn't played that much, and there's been a layoff. She's going to be feeling it. I don't think it will be enough to really stop her. But the girl she's going to play is Strakova. Is very good at grass too, especially the slow stuff again. And she's getting in net. She does her two-handed volley, all the slicing she does. And she has that slice, and I think Chrissy Everett, somebody pointed it out very brilliantly, maybe it was Renee Stubbs, about how she has this two-handed backhand slice that she likes to do. She's so funny because she's small and she comes in like low and like this. And you don't know because it's the same motion, the same setup. Of course, I'm butchering it, but I'm just saying it's the same setup, whether it's a deep slice or a real big slice or just a drop slice over the net. So when she's setting up and ready to go, you have to sit there like, I have no idea what's going to happen next. This is deep or short, and be ready. But anyway, really good stuff. I did say in my preview yesterday that I thought somebody in that match was going to have a meltdown, and I really do think Konta did. And again, I'm not criticizing Konta. It's understandable. She also had a big clay season, didn't have a lot of matches coming in on the grass. So that was a little bit of a problem, but she was getting her form, and she was in fine form, and she could have definitely won this. That first set was close, and if she was up 4-1, in fact, everybody seemed up 4-1. She was up 4-1. Shui was up 4-1, and who else? Makova. Wasn't she up 4-1? 3 people were up 4-1, or was it? Yeah, I think that's it. And they all lost. They all lost. Strakova was down 4-1, so Konta was up 4-1. Makova, so 3 people were up 4-1 and lost. But if Konta could have taken that first set, she could have won this, and it still would have been tight, and might have went 3, and it would have been tight just because of the pressure. I mean, I know she said she loves it and everything, but there's a lot of pressure on her. But anyways, maybe a little bit better form, a little more grass coming in, not so much clay. That she had a great clay season. This might have all made a difference. It's all speculation, but Strakova's really good at grass, so she's the one who really was the better. I mean, Konta's pretty good at grass too. I think Strakova's a little better, to be honest, with the variety. Zhang Shui, like I said, just kind of petered out a bit, plus Halep knows how to win the big matches. Somebody was saying that in the commentating. She just knows how to win. I think it was Cliff Drysdale or somebody, and that's the truth. I mean, there's something to be said for that. Maybe that was Darren Cahill. Anyways, and I guess Serena knows how to win. So again, and then the other match, Mukova. So that's the last thing I want to talk a little bit more about. I really thought Mukova could get this, and I said it in my preview. I jumped the gun a bit. I did with Pella as well. I thought Pella, then when I was watching Pella, I'm like, okay, that's too much body fatigue. But he ended up coming back and doing it. Mukova, no, she couldn't. And Svitolina was a little better than I expected. Svitolina has not played a lot this year, had the knee injury. Grass isn't her best, though. Like Halep, she keeps getting better at it. And but it wasn't about the grass or the tactics even or anything. I think Svitolina just fought. I mean, she really put it out on the line. Not that she always fights, but this time she did it with confidence more and really was like, this is it. I'm getting to the semifinal now. And, I have a tired girl over here, a body fatigue, whatever. She knows the last match she played with Pliskova, and she was like, I think it almost looked like Svitolina was like, I'm not letting this happen this time. But again, Mukova, no body fatigue. There's no doubt in my mind she wins this. And the same with I think Risk over Serena, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. But one thing Mukova was doing, and I know it was Renee Stubbs who pointed this out, and I thought it was really cool, was breaking tendency. And I put it on my Twitter, and I use this for football a lot. So in the game of football, you have you're using the space as you always do in any sport, and you have a big field, and you have strategy every play. You have a different setup of what you want to do. And there's certain times during the game and certain score lines. When the score is a certain score or there's a certain time, you do certain things. Or like when the down, like you have 3rd down and 2, that means you have this one down, this one play to get this, what they call first down, and then you can continue playing on offense. And for those of you who don't understand this, the bottom line is there are certain things you're supposed to do. Like you're supposed to just run that ball right up in there and get those 2 little yards and get it. Well, nowadays you can make that. You fake it and then you pass it or you do other things. And that's called breaking tendency. That's a real simple way of doing it. But today in the pros everywhere in football, and I'll put up a little thing from my football site on it because I had it detailed it a couple years ago when the Eagles won the Super Bowl and Doug Peterson, their coach, was doing an incredible job at breaking tendency. But basically, you're keeping the other team off balance with great variety, aggressive variety, because you're taking a chance. You're not doing what is the norm and what is the proven thing over many years that works. There was one day a football coach said, I forget the line now, but you don't ever want to pass the ball. You just want to run, because that's proven and it's safe. This doesn't work anymore in sports. Sports come way too far. The athletes are too good. The strategies are too good. The coaches, everything's too good, too much. So you have to really, if you want an edge, you have to have variety, you have to break tendency. Now how this works in tennis is, Mukova, this is just one way it can work. But Mukova was coming up to the net, okay? When you come up to the net, and again, this is not a technical video, please do not follow this. I'm not giving instruction, I don't know what I'm doing here, okay? Go to like a guy like Jeff Salzenstein for that, please. But if you're coming up to the net, and before you kind of break down and get set up, you kind of take what they call like a hop step. So you're up in the air a bit. So as the other person's hitting, you can go left, right, forward, maybe you have to get back, but you keep loose and you kind of break down. But the thing you want to do is always cover the open side of the court. Common sense, it's a much bigger space to hit into. The smaller space will be harder to hit into. So you want to just kind of cover that open space. Now that's the proven way to do it for many years, okay, forever. Now what Mukova was doing today, and I didn't even notice it right away, Renee Stubbs called this out. And I forget what she called it now, but anyway, Mukova came up and was faking like, and I'm not sure if it's instinctual, it doesn't matter. This stuff's always instinctual on the court during a match because there's no time to be sitting there going, what are we gonna do here? And so it's like in football, if you did that, the next thing you know, you're on your back, you just got nailed, and you're looking at stars, you know? So it's not like they're sitting, but it's something that if you do it over and over and you get used to it, it becomes very natural. And then it becomes an instinct, but yet a plan, a scheme at the same time together. So anyway, so Mukova's coming in and she's sort of like leaning like, I'm gonna cover the short side, which people do now. It's like second serves, be safe and just get them in. Now people are just pounding second serves sometimes, you know. So Mukova's acting like she's gonna cover the short side, which is crazy. So, oh gee, now I just drew a blank. Who the heck did she lose to today? Well, anyway, so her opponent ends up hitting it to the open side, but Mukova was just leaning that way and she immediately covered the open. Then she's coming down and acting like, I'm pretending this is the open side. So now she's like acting like she's covering the open, and then she moves in and closes down on the closed side. So it's just about like, mixing it up, and a lot of it, again, Federer does this great, other people are doing it now, but it has to have a feel, you have to really feel it. You can't, because, and the other thing is first I just want to say, you can't just, be like, what do I do? That's not going to work. That's too much time. The other thing is you don't want to be over-aggressive. In football, you can get over-aggressive, but it's a lot easier to get over-aggressive in tennis because it's an accuracy sport. It's very specific. It's very ordered compared to football. Football's ordered too, but I'm just saying there's lines, there's a rectangle, a net. This kind of stuff makes tennis tend to go towards the guy like Nadal has done so great. Consistency and just brutal strength consistency. So to really pull this stuff off, it's a real balance. There's such a balance in tennis. So very easy to get over aggressive on that, and you start faking all over the place and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and just getting your butt kicked. But if you can find a little bit of balance in that and make it happen, and Mukova was doing it. Mukova has been doing it since last year. I was watching her on grass. She just had body fatigue and just really, you could see it. It was struggling in her body. Again, she could have pulled out that second set. Definitely the first set. She kicks that first set, I think she can win. The second set, it would have been a neat third set, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Svitolina. Yeah, Svitolina was getting some nerves, and she had a little bit of a leg, but I don't think that was a big deal. But the bottom line was, Mukova could have had, today was a good day. It was a good day of tennis. Without the body fatigue and a couple of these girls, we might have had different lineups for the semis. And speaking of the next quarterfinals, I should say, we have Djokovic, Goffin. I think this is it for Goffin. He's really got his form back, so I don't think it will be super easy. He might even win a set, maybe two, maybe really push Novak, but I can't imagine he's going to beat Novak. It's a small chance, a very small chance. Then we have the early match on court. That's on center court. The early match on court one is Pella and Agut. And now this is it. Pella's had too much in the body now. He might even have full fatigue. And the difference, body fatigue you can win with. Full fatigue, you're just fatigued. That's cardio. That starts to affect your cardio. You usually going to peter out at some point. And even if he doesn't, let's say he just sticks with body fatigue, I think Agut's going to take care of business. He's had a really smooth run. He's really good at this, what I would call slow grass. Flat strokes, like my friend Gil Gross says. So, Agut. Then the second matches, Federer and Nadal, both second matches. Federer on center court. I don't know. I think Nadal doesn't care, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe he does. But Federer, Nishikori's already showing some body wear and tear. Not fatigue, but just some body wear and tear. And this is what he's dealing with a lot these days. He always has his whole career, but it's catching up a bit. You don't want to go up against Roger. Roger's feeling good right now. Now, Roger may be having a little bit in the legs and the back in that area too, but I've got to go Roger. Maybe, again, Nishikori takes a set. But I feel more confident about Gafan than I feel about Nishikori, to be honest. Though, the one thing about Nishikori, I've always felt he should be really good at grass. And now he's making this run. But I just don't think the timing's right. I don't think he's completely in his best form, completely has that body ready to go. But I could be wrong. But I'd have to go with Federer. The one that I give the most chance is Querrey over Nadal. But again, not that much of a chance. But I give him the most chance. Like maybe Gafan has a 2% or 3%, I don't know, 5%. I mean, and Nishikori has a 4 or 5%. And then like maybe Querrey has 10% chance, something like that. I don't know. But I think Querrey could really pull this off. Maybe I should be higher than 10% because he's the kind of guy that really gives Nadal trouble. Big serving on the grass. And not just that, he can move a little bit. Not like Nadal, but he can get around. He can do other things as well. My problem with Querrey, he hasn't played a lot this year. He's also been injured. He's still not, I know who he's beaten, and I've watched his match. He's not in his very best form. And Nadal is playing his best grass court tennis of his life. And it's interesting because Nadal used to win because it would turn into a dirt court, especially the late 2000s up to 2010. That grass would just rip right up. That was before they were overseeding and doing this other stuff that's making a thick grass now. So though the grass is dead now a lot, it's still there. It's still stuff going on. So it's bad bounces and all different stuff going on. You have to play aggressive. Nadal in the old days would have never done well the way it is right now, I don't think. He did well because it was dirt courts. Right now, Nadal's playing by far, and it's an interesting thing. He hasn't won since 2010, but I keep saying this. I was saying this going back to 2012, 2013, 2014. He's playing better grass court tennis every year. He's just losing. And the courts are changing, and they're getting more like grass again. So this is it. This is the best Nadal's ever been. It's going to be very difficult to beat him. Of course, Federer and Djokovic can, but it will be tough, and I don't think Querrey's going to do it. He's not. Even at his best form, I'm not sure. But at his best form, I'd give him more like a 40-50 percent. But now with his form, I'd say like maybe 20%. Plus, Querrey hasn't played a lot, so I bet he's feeling it in his legs and his body a little bit. But if there's anybody who has the best chance, it's Querrey for tomorrow. But still a small chance.